All right, we live. What's good, Colossal Boxing Talk fam? I am back. I ain't did a hangout in a long time, but I got some special guests with me. Some guys from the movement. I got my boy 2K from the Prodigy of Boxing. I got my boy C-Bone Henderson, Four Corners Boxing, and I got my boy Bo from the Truth and Facts About Boxing. I'm gonna let y'all introduce yourself before we get into this show.
You gotta fucking be kidding me. You just did that.
I mean, you know what I mean.
Man, I tell you, man, I don't know my name, man. I just go by what they tell me, man.
Well, give a little more insight for the people besides just the name of y'all channels, and y'all ain't been on my channel for real. So
go ahead, Bo.
I was yawning. Shit, my old ass. Bo, Truth and Facts About Boxing. Elder statesman of the crew.
Absolutely. Yep. This is 2K here from the Prodigy Boxing Talk, of course. Also co-owner, along with my man C-Bone, who's also on here. Willy the Kid isn't on here. He might be on here a little bit later. He's the other 1/3 of the owners of 3kingsboxing.com. If you haven't already checked that website out, go ahead and do that, man. It's hot. It's hot.
Ditto what 2K said, and the name's Boomhauer, man.
Yeah, my bad. Steve Boomhauer.
All right. Probably the youngest cat out of the movement. I don't know how old Blake is, but I'm pretty sure I'm the youngest cat.
Yep, Blake is my age. You're the youngest.
Oh, okay, with the biggest head. Okay, but yeah, big cool. And we here to discuss, man. This weekend we got a lot of fights. We got George Groves taking on Chris Eubank Jr. defending his WBA super middleweight title. We got Danny Garcia, Brandon Rios. We got the rematch between David Benavidez and I forget old dude's name. Was it Gabriel?
Gabriel, yeah.
Yeah, Gabriel. So we're gonna start with the big fights, man. We're gonna get that out the way. I'm gonna let my boy Willy the Kid, the real pride of Puerto Rico, just joined.
What's going on?
From Eastwick Boxing, 1/3 of owners of 3 King Boxing. But we're gonna start with C-Bone. What's your prediction or break down the Eubank Groves fight a little bit and give your prediction?
I believe, like everybody said, you know what I mean? Most boxing insiders or pundits are favoring Groves in this fight. He is probably the better technical boxer out of the two. He's got a good jab. He's got good sneaky body work. You know, the experience difference is pretty drastic. He's got good power in his right hand, especially. He's a straighter puncher than Eubank is. He's been in with Frock, DeGale, Bandu Jack, as my man Bo says.
Bandu.
I mean, he's been in the big fight before, and this is really the first time for Eubank Jr.
Like Canelo.
Yeah, like Canelo, and there's hundreds of them, but we won't go there right now. We'll wait till we're on his show to do that. But anyway, we love you both. But anyway, like I said, he's better. He's a better fundamental fighter than Eubank says. Eubank's got the conditioning factor. He's got a lot higher output. He's got a great diversity in his punch selection. He is a little lazy on the jab, though, and if he was to develop a solid jab, he could be a hell of a fighter. I mean, he really could.
I agree with that.
The activity level isn't as big a difference when you actually technically break it down. It's just Eubank throws a lot more power punches, what people call power punches. He doesn't have the jab, like I said. Groves has a pretty decent jab. His keys here is going to be to use a little movement in this fight. And I don't mean like try to be a slick boxer or nothing like that, but he's going to have to use a little movement. He can't let Eubank Jr. plant his feet and throw 3 or 4 punch combinations, or that's doomed for him, man. It's doomed for him. Okay? Eubank does have a problem with his left hand being a little bit low at times, but I think he's so much more athletic and faster than Groves that it's not going to make that big a difference. He's going to push the pace early. But the fight, you know, the way most people look at it, and I do too, the first 2, 3, 4 rounds should go Grove's way or look like they're going Grove's way. By round 6, there's a drastic difference between 6 and round 1 or 2. All right, Eubank's the output, the pace begins to be too much. Groves has had a problem in the past with stamina. I believe he gets backed up toward the ropes. I believe he gets stopped in this fight by round 10 or so.
Okay. Willie, how you see this fight going? Break it down a little bit and give your prediction as well.
Oh shit, the motherfucker done took everything I had to say and shit. But it's real simple. To me, Groves has to set the pace. He can't fight this fight at Eubank's pace. I see Groves coming out strong early, looking like he's got control of the fight, and Eubank taking the fight late. I actually got Eubank winning by unanimous decision, in my opinion. Groves, to me, the stamina issue is big. Then there's the Eubank issue where can he take the punch from a way bigger guy, because like the size difference is going to be there.
Yeah, totally agree.
The speed difference, though, might make up for that. Where, Groves has good timing, but that speed might upset that a little bit because he doesn't see that too much from a lot of the fighters he's fought. Probably going back to like Badu Jack or somebody like that. So as far as athleticism, but I see this fight. If Groves has a chance, he's going to have to take it to him early and try to get him out of there. Because the later this fight goes, the more it's going to go Eubank's way.
Okay, I'm gonna put a little spin on it then. Bo 2K, what does a victory over George Groves do for Eubank in terms of making y'all a believer in him as being a real player at 168?
Well, first of all, I'll let Bo answer that. You ain't got to put no spin on this shit because these motherfuckers ain't say everything that's supposed to be said about this goddamn breakdown. You know what I'm saying? So first of all, I'm going to go with Eubank Jr. as well. But this is the thing. George Groves is not the fighter that he used to be. You know what I'm saying? There's a different George Groves there is today than there was the one in 2012, right? That beat thank you, babe. Appreciate it. The one that beat James DeGale, right? And in that fight, of course, was controversial. The decision was, but he still made a very good account of himself. He was fighting from the outside. He used the jab a lot. He used movement at that point in time. He was moving laterally. He looked like a boxer puncher that leads with his jab. Today, he's no longer that. He's actually in the pocket. The good thing about it is he goes to the body a lot more than he used to. But a lot of his shots are going to be short and compact. He's going to be within mid-range to inside distance now. He may throw the jab out there every once in a while to set up some of his combinations, but the majority of the time, he's sitting in the inside well within range of what Chris Eubank Jr. is good at doing, right? If you look at Chris Eubank, now, don't trip. I'm just making a small comparison here. He looks like a throwback fighter, and he looks like Henry Armstrong. Now, I am not saying this motherfucker is Henry Armstrong. Believe me, Henry Armstrong is my third greatest fighter of all time, right? But what I'm saying is...
I can see it.
You see what I'm saying, C?
I think exactly what you're saying. Style-wise, ain't much difference. I mean, he's got a little bit wider punches, but yeah, I see exactly what you're saying. I see it. It's there.
And Groves got to figure out a way to stay off the back foot.
Yeah. See, he has that. Well, hold on, Willie. I'm gonna go to that in a minute. But he has that throwback kind of style where he's kind of sitting in the pocket and he's just winging punches straight to the body. You know, he's going to the head, but he's still in the same position and he's kind of dipped forward, kind of like the old throwback fighters used to, like Henry Armstrong does. And Joe Louis did that as well at times, kind of like brawling. You know what I'm saying? But there's some technique to it. The thing about Chris Eubank is he's an excellent trainer. He trains very well, right? I love the way this motherfucker trains. I mean, that's how I train when I'm in the gym, you know what I'm saying, doing what I do. You know what I'm saying? Of course, I'm not doing boxing, but what I do, you know, I can relate to how he's serious about how he trains. But then when he goes in the ring, he's just not as good as he trains, right? That's just the gist of Chris Eubank Jr. But I feel that the erosion that George Groves has gone through over his years. And I really believe the Carl Froch losses took some shit out of George Groves. Ever since those two fights, he has not been the same guy, right? I feel those losses have eroded him. He is the bigger guy. I think he's 2 years older or maybe a year older, but he has more mileage on him, right? I just feel that erosion right there is going to play into Chris Eubank Jr.'s hand, as well as how he's changed his style into being a guy that's going to be directly in front of Eubank Jr. He's going to end up getting broken down towards the end of the fight, and it could possibly be a knockout, but I still will take Chris Eubank Jr. by unanimous decision. Now, going on to what Willie said about how he needs to stay off the back foot, I kind of disagree because I need George Groves to actually use that jab from the outside to stay away from Chris Eubank Jr. But I do agree simply because the way he fights now, when he's on the back foot, he's really just in retreat mode. He's not looking to mount any type of an offense. But the old George Groves, he would have been mounting an offense, right?
Yeah, now he just goes against the ropes.
Goes against the ropes, just like I said, yeah.
Exactly. So that's why I partially agree, but I gotta go with Eubank. I gotta go with Eubank on this one.
Okay, so far we got a clean sweep. Go ahead and give us your take on this fight.
All right. My take is none of these motherfuckers will be on my show to talk about the names I don't say right. I want to just get that out there.
Hey, man. We'll sure to let Eddie Hearns know.
Three Kings will have a guy out there tomorrow, and if Eddie Hearns is anywhere around, we'll make sure we hit him up.
Eddie Hearns.
But yeah, look, I got Chris Eubanks Jr. and I said he might knock him out in the 9th round. Here's the thing, and 2K touched upon, and I said this earlier. George Groves has a lot of mileage on him, henceforth why if you look at his footwork and how he moves his feet, it's not the same as before. Go back and watch the Bandu Jack fight. Bandu Jack was able to use a little bit of his athleticism to get in and out, go to the body, dip down. And when George Groves is not unsure of where you are, where the punches are coming from, the first thing he likes to do is cover up. That works to Chris Eubanks' advantage. And Eubanks is more athletic and has much faster hands than Badu Jack. So Badu Jack. So that right there is key. Then we was talking about, Groves having stamina issues. The problem with having stamina issues is I don't care how strong of a puncher you are. When you have stamina issues, it takes a lot off your punch. If he starts having that in the second half of the fight, and Chris Eubanks sees that, and Chris Eubanks is moving, because Groves don't like to move. He likes for you to come towards him. If Chris Eubanks is moving, it's going to cause Groves to have to come at him. And that's just something he just don't like doing. He don't like picking up his feet and moving because it can make him tired and it can make him a moving target. He doesn't move his head. That's target practice for Chris Eubanks. So Groves is going to have to he's going to have to figure out some kind of way to establish his jab. When Eubanks start doing that stuff where he's dipping and going back to the ropes, he's going to have to jump on him. And Eubanks, for the most part, he's going to have to, Groves has the, we can say he has the experience and maybe even a little bit higher of a ring IQ in this fight, just based off the experience. But then again, Chris Eubanks, he brings so much to this fight with the hand speed and the athleticism. And he may not have ever been in a big fight, but he's been around big fight moments from watching his father and being in there with Lennox Lewis and being in the gym with those guys and training down there at the Mayweather gym. So he knows what's at stake here. And, he knows what this is. Now, what a win over Groves would mean for Eubanks, I mean, a hell of a lot, because there's nobody on his resume that's a George Groves. And so it would definitely mean a hell of a lot. It doesn't mean he win this tournament, but it would mean a hell of a lot as far as, legitimizing him as a 168-pound fighter.
Okay. So what's your official prediction?
9th round TKO for Eubanks.
I'm going to go ahead and agree with y'all. I think as the fight progresses, George Groves gets tired, starts to fight reckless, squares himself up. And I think that the speed and athleticism of Eubank Jr. is going to carry him in the second half of the fight. I think he'll get him out there in the 11th round. Clean KO. So,
what was that question you wanted us to answer?
No, I wanted to say, does it – because I don't know how highly y'all rate Eubank Jr. amongst the 168-pounders, but I said, what does a win over George Groves do to y'all in y'all eyes for his, legitimacy of where he's standing amongst the top 168? Does it prove he's a part of the upper echelon, or he still needs to?
No, it doesn't prove he part of the upper echelon. It just proves that okay, you can somewhat say, all right, you can. Some would say you legit at 168 because you're right. You passed the test. That's it. But it's hard to say because I'm looking at the upper echelon, and who is the upper echelon? James DeGale got the shit beat out of him. David Benavidez might not be who we really thought he was.
Sudo hasn't looked good.
Right.
Shit. So it's like that division's wide open.
Yeah,
I did it right now.
Smith.
He's got Billy Ho Sanders problems. Still, I don't give a fuck what anybody says because you know what? While he's moved up to 168 and he's trying to establish himself there, guess who's looking better and better?
Billy Joe.
The only guy that beat him. So,
and hey,
as long as Billy Joe Sanders is looking like is inching away towards being an elite fighter, it makes Chris Eubank Jr. look that bad that he did not rematch this motherfucker and get his get back. Got Billy Joe problems.
I definitely agree, and I said this earlier on the Eastwick UK show, and I believe, like for instance, Saunders I've watched the last couple of times. And don't get me wrong, the Monroe fight wasn't that great, but Saunders, like I watched against him and stuff, he still beats him too.
Yeah, I agree.
I got and dog walks George Groves.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Well, there it is.
This is what you call a checkmate.
Tip the king over, damn it, it's over.
We have another fight card. We got Danny Garcia taking on Brandon Rios. We're not gonna break this fight down. We're not gonna break the fight down. I'm not doing it. Old man.
Y'all gotta let my man host his show. What's wrong with y'all?
All right, my bad. Go ahead, man.
Yeah, it's not a breakdown. We already know that. We're gonna do a look in the future. What do y'all expect? I know, C-Bone, you could probably give us a little bit insight on what's Garcia's plans after he demolishes Brandon Rios. But what do y'all guys expect after he defeats Brandon Rios this weekend? I mean, his next fight is 2018.
Honestly, I don't expect anything because I don't know what to expect from these motherfuckers anymore. So,
I was getting ready to say kind of on the same thing.
They took a year off for no damn reason.
I'm expecting a rematch. I'm expecting a rematch against Rod Salka.
Hey, you may not be far off, man. I know Salka's manager real well on my camera. I'll call him and see. If that's in the works. But honestly, from talking to Angel, I'm thinking they're aiming at Sean Porter.
He did mention Spence, but I don't think he'll do it.
Stop it, man. He don't want to die. That's just
suicide.
Yeah, suicide, exactly.
Well, okay.
I'm gonna be the positive light here.
Oh God.
I'm gonna be the positive light here today. I think what's next for Danny Garcia is undisputed at 147, man.
Oh my God.
Oh my God.
On fight night?
You need to mute him.
What is he gonna do? Carry your own title to the ring for him or what?
Now
Jarrell, mute that motherfucker.
I gotta take my medicine.
That motherfucker washing his drawers or something, man, to say that shit. Motherfucker say undisputed at 147.
Listen,
honestly, when you think about it, though, when you really think about it, what is next for him? Because I don't see him fighting Sean Porter. Sean Porter trying to get Keith Thurman, so he gonna wait on that. So Porter ain't gonna fight him.
So what about the winner between Ortiz and Alexander?
Hey, I think I can see him going after that. I can see that because that's the type of shit that they were trying to get the winner. They were trying to get the winner. They were trying to get the winner of Victor Ortiz. Remember that.
Actually, he's a former champion that goes around saying that he lost on paper. So, yeah, I understand where that's coming from, and I do like that fight. But you know what? You're a former champion, so you should be going after champions.
Champions, exactly.
Yeah, but if Alexander can, beat Ortiz, that's a good fight between him.
Honestly, like, who you guys see Devin beating out of the top welterweights?
Danny.
Lamont Peterson, that's about it, really.
Yeah.
I think he could be. I don't know. Depends on. Like I said, I think he can beat Danny. Depends on how.
You got what? Thurman at the top. You got Thurman, Crawford, Spence. You would say top 3 guys?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Any
I
of
put a
those 3
question
guys?
mark by Crawford. You know, man, he still got to prove himself.
No, I think Crawford gives Danny the works. You know, person.
Yeah, with Devin Alexander, February 17th is going to be a big. It's going to be a good barometer to see where he's at, because I can't shake what C-level as Aaron Martinez did to him. I can't shake that. You know what I'm saying? And it was a situation where the game plan was easy, and he still couldn't stick to the game plan. He couldn't execute the correct game plan.
I'm saying the thing with that is that he doesn't have the power to make a guy think twice and shit either. So it's like too much.
No,
but
He
this
kind of
is,
fight uptight now
hey,
too. Nowadays,
hey, the loser of that fight is done. Ortiz, Alexander.
no, because if Ortiz can get as many chances as
I'm about to say, Victor Ortiz won't get as many chances.
Evan got about 3 or 4 more chances, so you know.
I mean, as done as like they're trying to promote this as 2 guys that are trying to make a run. You know what I mean? The loser is definitely done. Like as far as that, you might catch him on a car, like a stepping stone or some shit like that. But
I don't know, man. For some reason, Victor Ortiz keeps getting back into the spotlight. I don't know.
Losers, man.
You know what it is? You know what it is, man? He wants to know how to quit. Like, you know, they got a show, How to Die.
Yeah.
How to Die in 1,000 Ways and shit. He wants to make a show called How to Quit in 1,000 Ways.
I ain't never seen a guy be happy to get knocked out, man. Like this dude, man. Like every time he get knocked out, he got a smile on his face.
One thing's for sure, he's not the star of that movie. I know that shit.
I call that motherfucker Victor O. Quits.
The star of the movie is a guy with 4 letters in his name.
Who name we do not mention.
Oh man. Right there. Shit.
What's his name? Is it like Vigo or Viga?
Shit, I don't know.
Quitermo.
Quigo.
I don't know who you guys are talking about.
Hey, we got another
My shoulder hurts.
Same card as Garcia, Rios. We got Benavidez trying to set the record straight against Gavril. How do y'all see that fight going?
Just he's got to use his jab and keep his distance.
Okay. 2K.
Don't square up like you did in the first fight and get caught. Terrible.
C-Bone.
Yeah, 2K touched it perfect. I learned one thing for sure. There is definitely some flaws in Benavidez. I mean, I've seen them before, but when a guy like Gavril can expose them like that, that tells me right there that, you know, we asked earlier, does Eubank go into the upper echelon at 168? Yeah, at 168 he does. Well, he's still got Billy Joe Saunders problems, but I don't know who was the head of the class in that division. You know? Obviously, the winner of the WBSS is probably going to be the highest ranked one by, you know, the transnational and ring and people like that, I would say, at the end of the day. So, yeah, I believe it went over Gross, puts him in the upper echelon of 168. Now, that being said, I'm going to give Benavidez the benefit of the doubt here and say that he took him a little light. Plus, I do know he was sick leading up the week of the fight, running the fever and stuff. So, I'm going to say, I think, I don't know, man. I'm hoping I'm right. This is something I haven't really worked on, but yeah, he can't get squared up like that. He has a tendency to square up a lot more than what I really noticed in that fight. It stuck out real bad.
He doesn't have to either.
And that would get him slaughtered by Chris Eubank.
What he has to do is what we said in a previous show, which is he has to look more impressive, period. He can't squeak by a victory. He has to look more impressive, bottom line. If he doesn't look if he don't look as impressive as he should, like 2K1 said, that's when cats gonna start looking at that resume and say, yo, I forget the dude name. Willy know the name. The motherfucker that Marcus Brown knocked the fuck out. They're gonna bring that motherfucker up. They're gonna bring that motherfucker up and say, yo, didn't he struggle against this cat?
In 10-2. Yeah, that was he got him out of there in 7. I mean, I gotta ask you guys a question. I mean, was he hyped up too soon? Because I seen a lot of people that were giving him a lot of praise earlier on, not so much as of late.
That's a good question. I don't think he was. I don't think he was hyped up because when I think of guys that are hyped, I think of guys that get a lot of praise from all different spectrums of the sport, right? You know, you got your casuals, you got your enthusiasts, you got your old heads, and they all know the guy. And let's think of a name, Gennady Golovkin, for example. That's hyped. I don't think David Benavidez even touched the radar of casuals. You see what I'm saying?
No.
So I wouldn't say
you know,
hyped.
before the last fight, a lot of people were actually saying he's the best at that division.
Yeah, they were saying that.
You know what I mean?
I think that's a lot of Benavidez supporters and maybe some enthusiasts. I don't think that's casuals, man, because people don't. I can go to 10 people right now and say, you know, who David Benavidez is. And I guarantee
probably 1 out of 2. Yeah, 1 out of 10.
Yeah.
Bro, you're gonna have to find people in Arizona.
I'll put it like this.
Yeah, the only Benavidez that matters. What Terrence Crawford said.
Right. But it's hard to say that David Benavidez is hyped because until somebody tell me he can beat Carlos Monson, like if I'm hearing shit like that about him, that's hype.
Yeah.
I'm not hearing shit like that. I'm not hearing he could knock out Marvelous Marvin Hagler. I ain't hearing shit like that.
Well, it is hype because today we're saying a lot of people are trying to push him as the best, and today we're saying that the division's up in the air. So in a way, there was some kind of hype to him.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. No, there was some kind, but just not to that level.
No, I didn't even, you know, I'm just saying in general, like, you think that people jumped the gun on him, I guess, so to speak?
Yeah, I know I did. After that Porky Medina fight, I did. I know I did.
Guys, we got a question from the chat.
Go ahead.
Y'all want?
What is it?
Hop asked, will James DeGale ever be relevant at 168 again?
No, sir.
He's definitely skilled, but has never reached his potential, kind of like Andre Durrell, actually.
No, sir.
No, sir.
Damn,
he's
no,
a
credit.
He's a 5-round fighter.
I mean,
5 rounds.
Maybe 4.
We're about to say.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? This motherfucker fight for 12 minutes. He'd be like, okay, I'm done.
Oh shit.
No,
I think his days are behind. The best days are behind him.
You lost to Truex in your home fucking town.
You took my fucking point. You lost to Caleb Truex. When you take a L like that, no, man, no.
This was supposed to be like a tune-up.
No benefit of the doubt, guys. No benefit of the doubt. When you come back too early from the shoulder injury, nothing like that.
No, man. Because until
still, when the judges in the UK still don't look at you worthy as robbing a guy, that's what you know.
My whole thing is that when a guy's like that and they have stamina issues, and they've been so many fights into their career, and they still have stamina issues, then it's something that you can't fix.
That's true. There's a pattern. See, every fighter has a pattern that they fight in, and some patterns is good and some is bad. Eubank, damn, DeGale has fought in the same fucking pattern. He still fights as if he's fighting amateur. He comes out good for 3 fucking rounds, anxious, anxiety, and then after that, that's it. He's done. And he lets you back in the fight, and everybody knows that.
Yep. The blueprint's out on him. They know that he looks good for the first 6 rounds, and then the second 6 rounds, he ends up gassing out, and he gives his opponent more opportunities for him to pretty much come back into the fight. Right. But the thing is, hold on, Willie. But the thing is, he's in between a rock and a hard place, kind of like Adrien Broner is between 140 and 147, right? But the situation with James DeGale, he's probably not good enough to beat anybody at 175. He's too old to go down to 160. 168 is probably where he needs to stay, which is probably the worst division of those 2 that we just mentioned, right? But the problem is, at his age, he's more on the decline than he is on the incline, and he just lost to a fucking journeyman. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So he might be done.
He's closer to the end than he is to the beginning. That's for sure.
I'll put it like this.
Years old, so I definitely see that.
I'll put it like this. James DeGale fucked up the definition of a journeyman for me. He fucked it all up. He fucked up. He redefined the definition of a journeyman with that right there.
Hey, man. I mean, shit. That was you lost that fight in your hometown against a guy that you're supposed to clearly beat. That's not a good look, period. And I never been high on him, but I'm glad he proved me right.
I was high on him, man, and as my man Hop just mentioned, he gave him a lot of credit after he beat Andre Durrell. That's where I started getting high on him, when he beat Andre Durrell. But I did see in that fight, of course, in the second half, Andre Dirrell was coming back to the point where if he gets knocked down twice, Andre Dirrell is probably going to win the fight, right? But I still saw a display in the first half of that fight that I didn't think that he was capable of.
Yeah,
you know
but the problem was in that fight, Andre Dirrell for the big early part of the fight. I felt like he fought the wrong fight. Like he could have.
He sure did.
You know what I'm saying? Like he could have been more conservative because dude was going to fade.
Yeah, I agree.
I don't think he knew that at the time yet, though.
Yeah, you know what? I think the jury was out on James DeGale's stamina issue. We didn't really see it. We didn't really say, okay, this motherfucker's got a stamina issue until he fought Badu Jack. That's when we were like, yeah, okay. Yeah. Might even be Porky Medina.
Medina's when I saw it. When he fought Jack, I thought, you know, like you said, from watching the Dirrell fight, I was like, man, this guy's better than I thought he was. But then when I watched him fought Jack, I was like, oh boy, you know, because there was some talk about Golovkin coming up to fight him. Then I said he's getting ready to make Golovkin a 2-division champion. I said because there's no doubt about it. I said because he's got a consistent pattern to him. It don't take long to figure him out. So here's part of the thing is he's got stamina, plus he's got one of the most consistent patterns I've ever seen.
It's very predictable.
It doesn't take long to very predictable. He moves one way, okay?
Yeah.
And that's straight into the power of a right-handed fighter. That's crazy.
Yeah.
If you can close the distance on him, he's beat, man.
Yeah, I give him credit because he's tough. He took an ass whooping in that Badu Jack fight in the second half, man. He took it.
He sure did.
He did. He did. But like I said, between Badu Jack and Caleb Truex, man, they have denied us the right to look at his sister. That's some bullshit.
All right, fellas. As y'all know, Victor Postal pulled out yesterday with a thumb injury, fractured his thumb, replacing his former unified junior welterweight champion, Julius Ndongo. He will be taking on Regis Prograis. Bo, we just interviewed Prograis last week, a few weeks ago. What are your thoughts on this new matchup, man? Do you think it's a tougher matchup for Prograis than Postal would have been, or do you think he still gets Ndongo out of there like he would have Postal?
No, you know what? It's kind of funny because we haven't seen Julius Ndongo since he took that L, so we don't know what that loss could have probably done to him. And that's been over a year ago, so he might be a little rusty. But it's hard to tell if it's going to be harder for him or easier for him because we haven't seen Ndongo. But just going off how Ndongo fights, the way Ndongo fights, that irky-jerky movement, that in and out, the longer arm, the longer reach, that could definitely pose a problem for Regis Prograis. Because remember now, when you're in training camp, you training to fight a particular fighter. Then all of a sudden they bring another fighter in. Now you have to start training for a different type of a fighter now. So, you know, you got to kind of change the whole game plan and hope you come up with the right one to win this fight. So that could be the only thing that he could be faced with is, you know, trying to prepare for a more taller, longer, irky-jerky type of fighter.
He's also went from orthodox to southpaw.
You're right. Oh, yeah, right. Orthodox, right. So at the end of the day, the preparation for Ndongo could be the more difficult task, because I still don't know from a mental standpoint, like when a fighter takes this long to come back after a loss, right? And especially being knocked out, that's signs of something wrong with him on a mental level.
But it's only been like 4 or 5 months.
Yeah, it was in August.
Yeah.
Who are you talking about?
It was August, yeah, but
it was August 19th.
That was August. Yeah, but I mean, 5 months before you come back into the ring,
it's gonna be 7 total
issues with his promoter and management. Though.
Yeah, right.
He just re-signed with Bella.
It's gonna be 7 months total, but yeah, I see what Chris is saying on that issue.
Okay, well, I still want to see what did that knockout have to do to him. What did it do to him from a confidence standpoint?
Well, see, to that, I mean, he did get knocked out by a body shot, so I mean. It's not like he got knocked out by a headshot, even though body shots are brutal. But I think that his style could definitely give Prograis some issues.
Yeah, I think we got to keep in mind that he did lose to Ball Crawford, the best in his division. So there's no shame in that, in my opinion.
That's true, but you know, we saw how Victor Postal looked after losing to Bud. He looked horrible in that fight when he came back.
Yeah, but I don't know, man. I think the fact that let's say he was training and like this, like making such a quick switch like that sometimes favors the fighter that's coming into the fight rather than the guy that had to fight all along. Sometimes it plays out that way, but he should win. I think this is going to be a nice test for the young man, and should he get past this, is a step forward. But it's a dangerous test too.
Yeah, I agree with. I agree with Willie 100%. I agree with Bo too as well.
It's a dangerous test because Prograde, he does have some head. He has head movement issues.
Yeah.
Well, this is the thing. And Dongo's got a 2.5-inch reach. I'm sorry, 4.5-inch reach and the 2.5-inch height advantage, and he uses all of that. He's that type of fighter. So, and Bo has heard me talk about Prograde, man. He's got an issue with, just like he said, moving his head. He also stays planted and he stays in the center line.
Yeah, he lines himself up and he leans over, so he'll be prime for uppercut or anything like that. You know what I'm saying?
Well, he don't even see, and Dongo's not even gonna be close enough to give him an uppercut. All Ndongo's got to do is stay on the outside
1-2.
and use that 4.5-inch reach. 1-2 this motherfucker for 12 rounds. That's it. So they uppercut. If I'm Ndongo's trainer, we ain't looking for that.
The key in this fight is the jab.
We're using movement. We're using the jab, like Willie said, and that's what we're doing. It's gonna be a boring ass Tyson Fury versus Vladimir Klitschko type of fight if I'm an Ndongo's trainer.
And you gotta be careful because you could get caught with something. And I'm talking about Prograde could get caught with something. And Dago ain't no he's wide as fuck, but if he lands, man, it could be some problems.
Oh yeah, if he land on you,
Dongo has got. You remember what he did to Tortanovsky?
Yeah,
that left hand he landed on him.
Awkward.
Now,
very awkward.
He's very awkward. He's lanky, and the trick for Prograis is going to have to be to maintain an angle to Idongo's weak side. You know what I mean? He's going to have to. If he don't, he could have problems here. Just like QK said and Willie said, the jab and movement, and we know Ndongo can do that. Look what he did to Burns.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
And that's Prograde. Prograde stays on the center line. He don't give you angles.
He's going to have to. If he don't, he's going to lose this fight, man. He's got the will, but he can't. He's got the power to change it at any second. But
he don't do that shit though. See, I agree with you 100%. But Prograde does not give angles. Like he barely has any upper body movement, let alone enough footwork to be able to use the triangle theory. He doesn't do that at all. You know what I'm saying? Like he's
kind of like a plotter a little bit.
Yeah, he's literally a plotter, and he stagnates himself literally in front of his opponent, dog, looking for opportunities.
I like the Postal fight for him more than this fight. I think this fight could be a very dangerous fight for him.
Yeah, I expected him to blow through Postal.
I agree if there was a full training camp for Ndongo. I still like Ndongo better, but this is the thing though. He's a fill-in. When you're a fill-in, it changes. You see what I'm saying? I agree. I agree.
Hey, it's not like so we don't know if he's been training. Like somebody could have told him, listen, you might be.
Yeah, he's been in Omaha.
Yeah, you might be the guy that we need in case something goes wrong here. Like we're going to call on you. So he could have been training for either one of these guys or whatever. You know what I mean?
Based on what we know is factual, though, right?
Yeah, right. So it's an interesting fight, man. I just it's a very dangerous. I don't know, man.
You know what? I put it like this. It definitely changed. It definitely changed the dynamic of the percentage chances for Prograde. Like when it was Postal, he had a higher percentage chance. Now with Ndongo, it's probably 50-50.
I mean, go ahead, Chris.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I mean, I'll have to watch a little bit of tape and see if the footwork's going to be a thing here, because if Ndongo can keep his lead foot outside, he has it might even be worse than 50-50.
Yeah. I mean, when you got guys that fight the way and move the way Prograde fights and moves, I mean, a slick guy who can move just a little bit could definitely box his ears off. You know what I'm saying? And frustrate him.
Yeah, I don't think his team did him any favors with this.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I would not be thinking. Here's the thing though: Dabella promotes them both, and they got the same management. Okay, so this is a no lose situation as far as they're concerned. You know what I mean? You either spring back Ndongo coming that's already been a unified champion. You know what I mean? And it was a real unified champion. I mean, he won his damn titles. You know, and or you spring forward progress. So it's really it's a no lose situation for the CEOs of boxing, the promoters, and the you know what I mean.
Right. Well, actually, you know what though? When you think about it, though, Amir Imam is already tied up. Postal pulled out. Josh, well, you're not gonna fight Josh Taylor. Figueroa is tied up with Broner. The only other option was Felix Diaz.
No, and he had all kind of options, technically.
But the winner of, I guess,
he should have tried to kick the fight back or something before you just step in there with the guy that you really. I mean, he had options.
I mean, but at this sometime, man, like, I mean, I don't know how long it take a fractured thumb to heal, but I mean, Postal kind of I mean, I kind of had a feeling that the fight wouldn't go through, whether it's a phantom injury, a legitimate injury. I don't think Postal can deal with that type of shit like he could with Matisse, and you know what I'm saying. I think once Crawford beat him, it took his whole, mental, game, and it was a dangerous matchup for him. But I mean, Prograis got to continue on whether he loses or not. I mean, he still got to fight him. I probably understand. He don't want to push
some type of interim belt.
Yeah, the winner got to face
interim.
Amir Imam, Jose Ramirez, winner.
Yeah. Basically, whoever wins this fight is going to be the next WBC champion if the WBC mandates that fight. You know what I'm saying? Because Jose Ramirez, I like him, big puncher, big Mexican puncher, but he's filled with flaws. And then you got Amir Imam, who, I mean, I'll just end it right there. You know what I'm saying? But Imam could actually beat Ramirez. So
yeah, because they both can punch. I mean, he can punch, so yeah.
I think Ramirez is one-dimensional. You know what I'm saying? So that's the problem there. But again, he can get ran over like Adrien Granados ran him over. So I think that's a 50-50 fight just because of that right there. But I think Imam can beat him. And either way, it doesn't matter. Either one of those guys wins the belt, they're going to lose to Prograis or Julius Ndongo. So,
I agree with that. I agree with that, and that I agree with.
All right,
I tell you what, I think that fight has the potential to make Crawford look even better if Ndongo wins it.
Yeah, it does. It does. Because a lot of people kind of don't give him credit for that. A lot of people.
People don't give him credit for it.
Yeah, I don't know why.
That's why I made the point to stress earlier. He was a legitimate unified champion. You know what I mean? Well,
yeah.
Hey, you got a guy, Big Cool. He wants us to discuss Wilder Ortiz real quick before we end the show.
Okay. 2K. Man, you and Bo. I mean, let Bo go. Let 2K go. Let y'all go. What y'all want to talk about? What's y'all early? Who y'all got the early favorite? I mean, what does Wilder got to do to avoid disaster and losing the title? Go ahead, 2K.
Oh man, I knew you was gonna what?
Cause man, look, man, you and Bo, man.
You want me to go first?
Y'all.
I could do it. I could do it if you want.
Yeah, I mean, we can do it.
I mean, shit, we don't want to inconvenience you. Shit. I mean,
it's like, well, there's some particular type of eggs you need to drink to prepare for this motherfucker right here.
Man, you need some Alabama eggs, man.
Right. You know what I'm saying? Do you only perform well when you're holding your baby in your lap,
Nah, he ain't had no eggs today. That's the problem.
Yeah, you're right. I did, man.
All right, well, we're gonna let Willy. You started off. Let 2K compose itself, get his thoughts together, man. What do you see? What does Wilder have to do?
Man, fuck that. I don't need to get my thoughts together. Look, this is what it is.
Go ahead.
I got this shit on standby 100%. You already know what's up, man. Look,
I'm about to piss everybody off.
Y'all already know I'm rocking with Ortiz.
Yep.
On paper.
About to mute him. No,
that's why I didn't want to say nothing.
Well said. On paper. Yeah, I got that's exactly how I'm feeling too.
Yep. Exactly, brother.
I'll tell you guys. Yeah.
On paper, man.
I'll tell you guys how it's gonna go.
If you look at both these guys, right? Luis Ortiz is the better fighter all the way the fuck around. Ortiz can fight on the inside. He can fight on the outside. He has the Cuban pedigree. to where he utilizes movement, you know what I'm saying, very well, especially for a heavyweight. At times, you can see Luis Ortiz, if you go back and look at his fights, he's boxing from the outside. He's doing some magnificent counter punching with his left hand. And then if you look at a fight like with Bryant Jennings, he's stalking his opponent. He's getting inside and shit, trying to knock him out, which is exactly what he ended up doing, right? A lot of people look at the Malik Scott and then that bum that he fought after Malik Scott. They look at those fights and they say, well, you know, he didn't knock those guys out. I mean, look at the fights. We got to understand those guys are running from him, especially Malik Scott. I mean, he literally was like, fuck that. I'm not engaging with this motherfucker. I saw what he did to Bryant Jennings. You know what I'm saying? I'm not trying to have what happened to me again, the same shit that happened against Deontay Wilder. I ain't trying to go through that again. So I'm going to go ahead and run in this fight. And the thing with Luis Ortiz, he's a smart fighter. So he's going to allow you to, if you're going to run, you're going to run. You know what I'm saying? He's not going to chase you. I mean, he'll walk you down. If you run, okay, I'm going to walk you down again. But I'm still going to win this fight because you're not throwing any punches. You're not mounting any type of an offensive attack, right? So that's what Luis Ortiz did, the type of fighter he is. Now, the reason why I think his skill set will be a problem for Wilder is because look at Eric Molina. Look at Artur Spilka, right? These are two guys that were able to get inside of the long reach of Deontay Wilder. They got inside of his jab fairly easily. Eric Molina especially hitting him with repeated uppercuts. I mean, the shit was ridiculous. Actually, in that fight, that's where I got the inclination that Deontay Wilder has a good chin because he was hit with so many fucking uppercuts, right? I believe the same punches that knocked out what's his name? Was it Thomas Adamek or was it Robert Helenius he knocked out? I think it was Thomas Adamek.
Yeah.
He got inside of Thomas Adamek and knocked him out. You know, Deontay Wilder took those shots, right? So, and then you got Artur Spilka, who was getting inside his jab and doing the same type of shit. He actually confused Deontay Wilder at times in that fight. And by the time of the knockout on my scorecard, I had the fucking fight a draw. You know what I mean? Then we go to Gerald Washington, a guy that was actually utilizing his boxing ability and fighting from the outside, and he won 4 straight rounds before the fight was prematurely stopped, right? So if I'm looking at these fights and I'm looking at how these guys they were showing a skill set that's 1,000 times less than what Luis Ortiz is able to do on the inside and on the outside, how is it that you don't go for Luis Ortiz? But here's the kicker. Each one of those fights, besides the Eric Molina fight, right? Because I think did that fight go to – it didn't go to distance. He knocked him out. So all 3 of those fights, here's the kicker. Power's the great motherfucking equalizer, and we are talking about the heavyweight division. You know what I'm saying? Deontay Wilder's right hand is so powerful that you could be winning the entire fight, but if you get hit just right by that one punch, you're done. So, that's the fucking problem here. Now, here's another kicker. We don't really know how good Luis Ortiz's chin is. You see what I'm saying? And he take a shot from Deontay Wilder. That's the big elephant in the room. Now, if I'm just looking at a guy's skill set and then I'm looking at another guy's skill set and all I get from fighter B is the fact that he has a lot of power, and then I look at fighter A and I see all these fucking things that he has, you know, the different dynamics that he brings in the ring, I got to go with fighter A. But I'm still looking. If I'm betting on this fight, I'm taking Luis Ortiz by decision, hedged with Deontay Wilder by knockout. Word up.
Okay, let me ask you something.
You're absolutely correct, man.
Let me ask y'all something. Hold on, fellas. Hold on. 2K, you said you taking Ortiz by decision. Do you actually think you'll get a decision?
Yeah, yeah, it's New York.
I mean, but I'm just saying, just off of what's.
I think you can.
Okay.
Because if the fight goes to a decision,
he's Cuban. They have a big Cuban crowd. So,
well, besides that, I'm talking like looking at the fight. If the fight goes to a decision, that means that Luis Ortiz was able to effectively elude the right hand. You see what I'm saying? And if he was able to do that, then that means that he was actually winning those rounds. Real talk.
He's won 9 of them at least, maybe 10.
Yeah, but here's my thing, man. I think Father Time catches up to everybody.
Yeah.
I think Father Time is going to catch up to him. Yeah. Everything you said is absolutely correct. Everything on paper says Ortiz. Fuck paper. Everything my eyes tell me says Ortiz is a much better fighter. But I just see him getting knocked out.
I agree. That's possible, man.
Okay. So, all right. Do y'all really believe age will play a factor?
Goddamn right it will. If you really,
if you're honest with yourself, you'll say you got to look at that factor, because the last fight I don't buy that shit, because he had a guy that was perfect for him to make him look good. It was a showcase more than anything else. So I can't really look at
it.
that.
It was a setup for this, man.
Yeah.
Okay, so if that's the case, what does this victory, if Wilder gets it, what does it do for him?
It gives him another legitimate name.
Yeah, it gives him a legitimate name. But here's the thing, too, man, and I think this is one thing. Luis Ortiz, this is the first time he's going into a fight knowing that the guy on the other side is one hell of a puncher. And that could change his whole approach to this fight, period. And that's the one aspect that he's never had to deal with, knowing that the guy on the other side, that's one hell of a puncher. So he might be a little bit more hesitant. He might be not as willing to go into fire like in previous fights, because he knows the return, if I make a mistake, is going to be a motherfucker. Now, he has a 1-inch reach advantage over Deontay Wilder, but Deontay Wilder is exceptionally a lot more athletic and a little bit more quick with his feet. Luis Ortiz likes to plant and like to take that just like the Cuban school of boxing. He likes to take that step where he lifts up the foot, kind of rocks back, take one step forward, and then slides his back foot up to get set. Well, and that's that. If you watch all of them do it, every Laura, the dude name we don't mention, all of them do it. They like to do that little rock back. You know what I'm saying? Like, you messed up. They like but
he did that shit like probably the most telling out of anybody. You could see it big time with him.
Yeah. And when you doing that, and Wilder is, and if Wilder sees it and can jump on him just like when he did against Adrien, that could be a problem for him. So outside of that, and then we talking about Father Time. Father Time has been fucking with Luis Ortiz, and I'm gonna leave it at that.
Bro, I'm gonna tell you this: Luis Ortiz is closer to 45 than he is 38. Right? Now,
all right, Chris. Let's look at it from Wilder's aspect. Other than his power or his right hand, what do you see? Do you see him developing the left hook? What other skills do you give him from other than being able to knock a motherfucker out? Do y'all see anything that he's developed?
He's got a nice jab.
That's what I was getting ready to say. Whenever next time you ask Willie, I'll talk to. But anyway, his jab is better than he's given credit for. His 1-2 isn't bad, period. But that's about all I can say, man. I don't know what else to say. I mean, you're asking. I mean, he is. Did you see that network the other day with him and Mark Breland? I know y'all have seen it.
It was cringy. It was cringy.
It was fucking horrendous.
Try to act like he ain't see it.
It was fucking horrendous.
What I not see?
Well, Mark Breland was doing pads with the new guy, and except for the new guy was wearing a Deontay Wilder costume. And
it was horrible. It was horrible,
bro. It was horrendous. It was during an open media workout. And
I did not see that.
No, you don't want to watch it. You don't want to watch it. You will even more go toward Ortiz then. You'll be like, shit, he can't beat Ortiz, man. No fucking way.
You know what?
The way it looked is like you thought that was their first time training with each other. You know?
That's exactly what I just said. That's why I said, poor old Mark, he's working with the new guy. Just wait a minute, that new guy looks awful lot like Deontay Wilder.
Yeah, 2K. 2K watch that shit. He'll yell out, "Get the fuck out of here!"
I'll start watching it. Actually.
He'll make a whole video about
watching it.
Yeah, me too. It was just kind of like this nigga about the Bears, Alabama.
I forgot he's your hometown. You've talked to him a few times, interviewed him a few times. I think here is the problem. Part of his problem is I believe I like the guy, man. He's a great guy.
Nicest guy in the world.
He's a super nice guy, man. I like his management. I don't think they're doing a very good job, but I like him. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I think they're doing a shitty job, to be honest with you. But that's neither here nor there. I'd like to get him back on the show, so I don't want to talk too much. But
hey, we're just keeping it real, man.
I'm just keeping it. That's one thing I'm gonna do. I'm gonna tell you how it is, whether you want to hear it or not. I'm just gonna tell you how I see it, and all of us are that way. So that's just how we are. Now, there is no favoritism here. My favorite is whichever guy whichever guy's hands are wrapped and he looked better in the ring. That's what my favorite is. Okay.
Do y'all think Wilder being so unorthodox could also throw Luis Ortiz off?
Possibly, because there is not much consistency to him because there's nothing to be consistent with. You got to have some kind of tools to fucking build a house. He don't have no tools, bro. He just goes up there and just somehow throws some wood on fire.
He has one tool. He has a hammer.
Yeah,
that's it.
It's right. He's got a hammer and he swings and hopes he hits a nail.
One thing about Ortiz that you could say in the past was that you knew he had some good movement, even for a big guy and shit. Like he was very, very, in my opinion, light on his feet. You haven't seen that in a long time, and I think in this fight you got to see that a little bit. He has to be able to do that. But the question is, can he still can he use that movement? Can he still move in there? And can he do it for 12 rounds if he has to?
Man,
my thing, if I'm Wilder, I try to make the fight boring and ugly. I mean, I don't
he can't afford to do that. He loses the fight if he does that.
He can't do that, Big Cool.
He can't do that, bro.
When you're trying
but I'm saying he can be more active, though.
Yeah, but when you're trying to do that, that's going to favor the boxer.
True.
See, he needs to actually attack Luis Ortiz, make him look old. That's what the fuck he needs to be first.
I agree.
Gotta be first. He cannot let Ortiz think. Don't let that
bring it to him.
Yeah, like the way he started that Gerald Washington fight, that's gonna get him beat. He can't do that.
That I agree with.
You got to bring the fight to him because you got to see what he's got.
Definitely, you got to see what he's got, and you got to see what he can take. You got to see, can he take this pace? Can he take this punch? Can he take this movement? Can he, you know what I'm saying? Like 2K said, you got to make him look. You got to make people really question that fucking birth certificate on his ass.
I really want for Deontay Wilder, though, man.
Yes, he does. He has a birth certificate.
Hey, Jarrell, I got some. Hey, Jarrell,
I'm talking about a real one.
Jarrell, I got some breaking news for your show. This shit just came in.
I hope it ain't nothing about this fight.
Nah, yeah, Bo and Ortiz were actually born in the same hospital on the same day.
In Havana. Yeah.
Hold up. It makes Bo younger than what he really is. Fuck
yeah. That makes Ortiz older than what he really is.
Here's the thing is, I said all that bad shit about Wilder, but here's what I'm gonna say. I believe he stops Ortiz, man. I think he wins this fight by knockout.
Well, so he picked it for me, Steve. I mean, look, man, I ain't gonna pick this fight, man. I ain't gonna pick this fight because
I think me and C went on this fight like back and forth on a few shows, and then I would love to see Ortiz upset the apple cart because he deserves it in a way, but he did fuck up with that whole medication thing, whatever the fuck went down with that shit that. So
not even this one, just way before when he fought.
I'm not.
So you got to give credit to Deontay Wilder because he doesn't really have to fight this guy.
I do totally give him credit for that. I totally give him.
I don't give him credit for that. He's supposed to fight the best. That's what I'm
This is a fight he did not have to take at all.
Yeah, if you felt Anthony Joshua did, which was skip over him, and I don't give a fuck.
He's from Alabama, man. He's from Alabama. He can't take the soft way out, man. It's just an Alabama thing.
I agree with Big Cool on this one, dog. Like I give him credit because people were trying to say he wasn't trying to make the best fights.
Yeah,
this clearly shows that he is, but he should be doing this.
Yeah.
No, I'm not saying he shouldn't. I'm just saying for him fighting him after what happened, you got to give him credit because he could have walked away and said, "Fuck this guy."
I agree.
And try to get somebody else.
I agree.
This is where that's a double-edged sword. In that we don't give him credit, or we do give him credit, or we just say, "Hey, that's what you're supposed to be doing." You know what I mean? So I do give him credit for taking this fight. I do expect that, but that's what we expect. We're talking about what the public expects and what they preach about every day. And every day is how soft his resume is, blah, blah, blah. And hey, you can't argue against it.
Well, this is what I say. This is what I say.
There isn't much argument against it. So I give him credit for taking this fight. He didn't have to take this fight. But like you said, from a fighter's point of view and from our point of view, he's supposed to take the fight.
Yeah, this is what I say to that. I give him credit if he win the fight. I don't give no champion credit for taking a fight that they're supposed to take, especially if it's a guy upper echelon in your division. So
I agree with that.
If a guy failed the test or whatever happened, he could still walk away with that and nobody will question it. That's my whole point. Like he could have walked away. You know what I mean?
Right.
But once the news came out that it was just a simple misunderstanding, then it's
like nobody believes that.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Bo and the other half of Cuba. That's it.
No, I don't believe. You know what? Listen, let me tell you something. Not only do I not believe it, it still disturbs me that nobody got fired from his team behind it.
I think
That's
me and
bullshit.
Bo did like 3 shows on that same topic.
Yeah.
Like
somebody
I was
lost their fucking
on
job behind that, man.
I think I was on them too. Yeah, we blamed everybody.
That shit looked at me like it's still to me in a way kind of suspect. Like how do somebody fuck up the biggest fight you're gonna get and like they're still with you?
This is final big fight right here. If you don't win, it's a wrap. He might as well retire. I mean, honestly.
You know, it's a night, man. I'm looking forward to it.
I'm gonna be nervous watching the fight, man. I know I'm supposed to take it out, but like I said, man, Alabama ain't got much in terms of boxing, bro. So,
hey, man, you don't gotta be nervous.
Hey, But anyway, man, we about to talk about 2K's favorite fighter from Cincinnati, Ohio.
Shout Shimmy coming back.
Shimmy?
From Cincinnati, Ohio.
Oh, you dirty motherfucker. No, you didn't. No, you not.
Atlanta, we have the problem. Atlanta, we have the problem.
Fuck everyone on this panel.
Hey, 2K favorite boxer, man.
We have to acknowledge. We definitely have to acknowledge that 2K once upon a time was going to name his firstborn after Broner.
Oh my God! You know what's funny? My firstborn came before Broner was even relevant.
That's what I was to say. Man. Well, this is dedicated to 2K, the Prodigy Boxing, and all the Adrien Broner fans, man.
Can I go first?
Yeah, I was gonna go to you, Willy. Hold on. This motherfucker.
Okay, wait a minute. This is the part where you put the women and children to bed. This is the X-rated version of the show.
Yeah. He followed Donald Trump's advice to grab him. Allegedly. We put that allegedly. Willy, man. Willy, what's up, man? What's your thoughts on this?
Hey, with the whole sexual harassment thing going throughout the nation, right? The last thing you would think a smart motherfucker, right, that's in the spotlight would want to do is draw attention to themselves for sexual harassment, right? There's something wrong with this motherfucker, bro. This motherfucker like a man-child. He a man by age, and he has the beard of a man, but that's a fucking about it, man. He has the fucking mind of a child. I never met somebody that's so fucking damn stupid in my damn life, man. You're throwing everything the fuck away, man. Man, I swear, bro, I did a video today and I took it light, but the more I thought about this shit, and then the other guy coming back drunk and shit, like, I think we might as well dub this shit the fight of the bozos. Because both of these motherfuckers is idiots, man. You got the opportunity of a lifetime, and this opportunity that a lot of fighters will kill to be in that position. And these motherfuckers wasted all away. Are you fucking kidding me, man? This is what's wrong, man. And you probably gonna have fanboys excusing this bullshit. Because that's what they do. They make excuses for the mouth. Oh, well, he's focused now. Motherfucking focus don't exist. Go suck a dick. I'm done.
All right, let me ask a serious question though. Like I said, he definitely, I stand with Willy and everything he said.
He need help.
But is it possible? Is it possible that Broner may be suffering from some type of brain like CTE? I mean, being serious though.
On some real shit, he suffers from stupidism.
But I'm saying, do y'all think like with 2K, because you seem to kind of divulge more into the intellectual aspect of these fighters. Do you? Because I said something about Robert Easter Jr. potentially, the way he fights or whatever, But it seems like his stablemate may be actually has signs of some type of brain damage, mental illness. I'm not making no excuses for him anyway, but I'm just saying this is something we really got to talk about because this is the hurt business.
Yeah,
he's entitled.
He's a millennial. You know what I'm saying? And that's if you're young and you get upset, then you must be stupid too. Because this shit, if you listening and you young, this shouldn't affect you if you don't act like that. You know what I'm saying? He's a young nigga. And that's how these young motherfuckers act nowadays, man. They act just like Adrien Broner. They have no respect for anybody else. right? They do stupid ass shit without thinking. A lot of the young women do the same shit. Actually, a lot of the ways Adrien Broner acts is that of a young woman of today. You know what I'm saying? So that's what the fuck he is. He's pretty much a young lady, in my opinion. You know what I mean? So I mean that's the product of the environment in which this motherfucker lives in. And another problem is he has a bunch of enablers, right? You got Mike Stafford, who don't say nothing to him. You got Pops, who don't say nothing to him, right? You got the niggas that are under his motherfucking brand that don't say nothing to him because he's the boss, right? The only nigga that was actually saying something to him was Floyd Mayweather, who had already ditched him for Gervonta Davis. So he ain't saying nothing to him. He ain't got nobody telling him nothing right now. So he doing whatever the fuck he wants. That's the problem. So if he actually had a nigga on his team that actually cared about him, that said, yo, sit the fuck down. Look at your talent. Matter of fact, this is what I do. I put on the AB versus Antonio DeMarco fight, and I'll be like, look at this nigga right here. What happened to that motherfucker right there? Then I change tapes, put on Adrien Broner versus Eloy Perez. What happened to that motherfucker? Then I change tapes, put on Adrien Broner versus Jason Litzau. What happened to that motherfucker? That's what I would do if I was a nigga in his team that cared about him. We wouldn't be going out that night. We'd be looking at old footage of Adrien Broner, and I tell him by April 21st, that's the guy you need to be, dog, or you might as well retire. But see, he won't get that, though. That's the problem.
Yep. I'm gonna teach your old dogs new trick. Go ahead, Bo.
I'm gonna take it to a level of this right here, right? All of us on here, with the exception of Big Cool, like daddies. Ain't no motherfucking way my son would have publicly said "fuck my father," because he would have known my foot would have been in his ass before the F and the A was finished of father.
Yep.
Okay, ain't no motherfucking way he gonna make it look like, you know, no child of mine would make it look like his upbringing was ridiculous. Why? Because again, he know that before he can finish pulling his pants below his belly button, my foot would be in his ass. So when you get a dude out here talking about some fuck my mom, fuck my dad, fuck kids, and all of that shit, that goes back to nobody in this boy's life ever gave this nigga that tough love that beat your ass until it get through your thick ass fucking skull. See, the problem, and 2K said this with millennials. See, the problem with millennials, because I be hearing my sister say this shit, you know, and she might hear it, and it is what it is. We talking about something. Oh, well, my kids suffer from depression. Motherfucker, we was all depressed. Going, the fuck is you talking about? The fuck is you talking about? Oh, all of a sudden now depression is a syndrome that blacks have. We was all fucking depressed. You know what got me over depression? A foot in my ass. That's what that depression owed out of me.
I wasn't allowed to be depressed.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Depressed. Shit. Shit. That was breakfast, lunch, and fucking dinner.
You
what
you
the
had
fuck
to.
is you talking about?
You had
We
to.
were brought
they
up, though,
wanted you to
man.
do.
But you got to look at it.
I'm
We
gonna
was brought up. We was brought up by, you know, our parents. My dad would go upside my head. My mom would go upside my head. She gave me my worst whoopings ever. You know what I'm saying? So
But see,
it's about the parents.
Money
but
changes
see,
everything.
the problem
man.
is
Exactly, Willie.
go ahead.
Money-
Yeah, but
Money changes everything, man. Ever since he got a little bit of money, and the
Exactly.
hunger went away, and once the hunger goes away, then you have a done fighter.
what
Remember-
it was more than, wait a minute,
remember
it was
at
more than just money though. It was money.
In Broner's case, I think it's more. I think it's
Bro,
parenting, man. I
listen,
think it's the
But no. Hold on. Remember, at one point, Adrien Broner was focused. Adrien Broner was.
Yeah.
Remember, Adrien Broner's amateur career is like 300 wins and 19 losses.
Yeah,
He
this
had-
is where they
Absolutely.
get. This is where they get focused.
Absolutely.
From.
He was focused at one point in time. I don't think the parenting when he was younger is that big of an issue. It's more so what Willie said about how he got older. He got too. And honestly, we touched on this earlier. He got rushed into the limelight too fast.
He did.
And he didn't know how to handle it. And that's what we're seeing today. That's the problem we're seeing today.
And that's
Okay,
why
but-
that. Go ahead, Chris.
I'm going to touch on something that to touch on the scientific point that you brought up originally. Big Cool. Yeah, it's possible. I mean, it's possible. Anybody that's been in, you're talking about a guy that's been in over 360, 370 fights in his life. That don't count the sparring and shit like that. Okay. So that's not out of the realm of possibility. But here's what leads me to believe that I got to agree with everything that everybody said on here. You know what I mean? We're living in an age that doctors say, oh, he's too active, give him some fucking meth. All right, or Adderall or something. You know what I mean? ADHD medicine. Okay. He's got fucking depression, give him some Rimron or whatever the fuck it is. We got our ass beat.
Oh, you need some
act, right? Got. You know what I mean? That's what we got. We got our ass beat. Now, number two is this ain't something that's brand new with Broner, man. This didn't just start. He's had a criminal record since 2006, 2007. Armed robberies, guns, you name it, he's had it, man. He's been a felon since before he was 20 years old. Yep. This isn't brand new. Okay? This has been an ongoing problem throughout his entire adulthood, I know of. We don't know what was as a child. We really don't know. But his daddy gets there and flushed his fucking hair, for God's sake. All right? Do you know what? I couldn't have made enough money to tell my dad, hey, you're going to have to brush my hair in front of the fucking world tonight. You know what I mean?
my daddy would have.
I mean, I'd got back in for some silly shit like that.
My dad would have whooped my ass.
You know, so this is a seed that was planted a long time ago, and they've continued to feed the son of a bitch by telling him yes, 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 and not fucking replanting the fucking plant. Plain and simple.
Exactly. I agree.
They made him entitled.
But you know what? To go back to the two, I see what you're saying about the parenting thing. But here's the thing, though. Regardless of how much money I ever would have got, I never would be telling some fuck my mom.
Yeah,
exactly. I totally agree.
I think it all goes hand in hand.
Right.
That's what I'm saying. That goes hand in hand with what I was saying, what 2K was saying, what we was all saying.
I think at the end, we all got to remember, man, it's a different generation.
Mm-hmm.
But see,
I'm close to age with Broner, and I don't act that way. So,
but see, look,
because you have somebody that raised you right.
But look, his dad used to do shit like make him and his twin brother fight whenever they got into issues. I mean, their household was no different than any of ours, man. Based on the stories that they've come out with, it's really about the environment in which he was brought up in, who he hung out with. You know what I'm saying? And the fact that the world has changed into what it is today. And that's what he acts like.
He was street, bro. He was street. West side of Cincinnati. Haven't you heard? Just go to his Instagram page. He'll tell you all about it.
Yeah.
Right.
Like I said, my sister stay up there, so you know what I'm saying? She know of him. So,
and what they did was they created a monster. Now they can't reel that monster.
And then you know what? I hate to say this because I've met the guy. He is a super nice guy to sit and talk to, man. You would not believe it. Of all the damn boxes you go and talk to and shit, he's super nice guy to sit and talk to. He'll talk to you. I mean, I know everybody's seen the shit where he fucked with the kid at the mall about getting a picture with him. But he was just fucking with the kid, man. That was all a joke. Because that's
the minute the camera comes on, I guess he becomes different.
Yeah.
They say the same about Floyd. They say Floyd, you get him by himself,
Floyd's awesome. Now Floyd's an arrogant motherfucker, man. I'm gonna be honest with you. He's an arrogant motherfucker. I don't care if the camera's on him.
He was nice to me. But I met him once. He was nice to me.
Yeah, but
now,
Floyd,
he's good for like
Floyd
go up and take a picture or some shit like that. But as far as just go hang out at his gym one day, and if he's there, he's just an arrogant guy. But when you have the level of success that he's had, he's supposed to be arrogant.
Yeah, I mean, Adrien Broner acts like Floyd minus the Floyd accolades.
Exactly.
Yeah. Well, exactly. Floyd see, the thing about Floyd is regardless, right about to say that work
you can earn arrogance.
The ring, Floyd is always prepared to do battle in the ring.
Exactly. You can earn arrogance, and Floyd Mayweather has fucking earned his arrogance.
Is he done? I'm not saying done with chances, but can he right the ship? Or by the time he rights the ship, it's too late.
Look, as long as he's still fighting, it doesn't matter. He will always have eyes on him because of who he is.
It's just a polarizing figure.
Didn't he just tell us after the Garcia fight?
Yeah,
he did. He just tell the world?
Like a little kid. Well, you still gonna watch me fight.
And he's right. He's absolutely right.
He's not lying though.
No, he's not lying one bit.
I don't get it.
But at the end of the day, he gotta live with himself, man.
But he got two things going for him. Look, the people that love him, and the people that hate him want to see him get fucked up, so they watch anyway.
I think they don't love. I think they tolerate him because he got the money.
I'm talking about the fans.
There's some motherfuckers. There's some motherfuckers that came to my page mad because I did that. That Adrien Broner was a fucking journeyman on Wikipedia. They was mad.
I know several. I know a bunch of close friends of his. I can introduce you to him right there on Facebook. Several guys. I mean,
the problem with him
and brothers fighting for him right now today. I've got all calls. I've got messages galore from the motherfucker.
The problem with him is nobody tells him no, and the one guy that does make sense to him is the one guy he talks shit about all the time, and that's Floyd. So like Floyd told him what he had to do,
but it need to be somebody that grew up in the trenches with him, man.
Yeah, but man, you got a boxer that came from. I mean, Floyd had a rough background. You got a fighter that came from the hood basically, and made himself into the biggest pay-per-view star of all time, and shit. So like, if the man's telling you something, you should probably listen.
Yep.
You know, like I said, he entitled. I mean, like you said, today's generation, man, they look for the easy way out. They soft mentally, emotionally, physically.
I see videos of these young motherfuckers hitting teachers and shit. I'd be like, yo, what the fuck is going on here, man? Like,
we never thought of shit like that, bro.
Yeah, if I hit my teacher, my mom would have told the teacher to whip my ass.
Exactly.
Right? After the teacher was done whipping my ass, then my mom gonna whip my ass, and then when my dad get home, he gonna whip my ass too. And then if my uncle and aunt find out about it, guess what they gonna do?
Yeah.
But even then, there's kids in our generation that didn't get whooped at home that didn't do shit like that. It's a different generation.
It's about the person, I think, too. It's just about you as a person.
Well, they think it's not even just that, though, fam, because the same personalities tend to bleed over generations. It's the environment, the product of the environment that you're in, right? And it's the world. It's the world around you. Hold on, Willie. It's the world around you of how it's changed. You gotta think of other things that's going on. I mean, I'm not gonna get too deep into this shit, but shit like the food, nigga. There's more hormones in our food and shit. You know what I'm saying? There's more estrogenated foods and shit that fuck with your goddamn the chemical makeup of your body and shit. Right?
That's true.
That shit, we weren't going through that back then. The kids today are going through that today. They're different people than what we were. This is real shit. You know what I'm saying?
Technology, access to shit. Technology.
It's real shit, man. So it's a totally different world, man. That's why you see more of this shit today.
Let me break it down to you, like in a way that probably makes sense to everybody. Look, I'm gonna say I grew up in whatever. I wasn't a saint. Most of my young life, I was never a saint. Whatever. But let's say I have beef with somebody, right? And they walking down the street, and I'm walking down the street, and they with their parents, I would never approach that person. I just walk past them like it's nothing, because there was back then there was a certain level of common sense and respect. And if I had to fight you, I'll fight you. Now, if I fight you and I whip your ass, then the nigga gonna come back with a gun and try to shoot me because he can't fight. So it's like these kids are a little different, man. They're a little crazier for some reason. They miss that respect factor, man. It's not there anymore.
And Chris, and Chris, we around the same age. You can contest to this, and the rest of you guys can too. Back in the day, you never let more than maybe one of your best fucking homies, blood brother, let you know somebody had you all in your motherfucking feelings. You didn't advertise that shit back then.
No, sir, buddy.
You didn't advertise.
For a man to wear his heart on his sleeve is what it was called. You know what I mean? That was you got made fun of almost, man.
Absolutely.
And you tender-footed pussy motherfucker. You know what I mean? And
right.
I've been it's drastic, the difference. I'm gonna tell you how bad it is this with this guy, man. Is the story come in, and ThreeKingsBoxing.com was the first major boxing site to run this story. I almost didn't run it as editor-in-chief because I almost felt like saying, who the fuck cares? You know what I mean? But who is a real boxing pundit, who is a real fan of the sport itself, gives a shit about this guy anymore right now? You know? That's how I almost felt. I said, this is shit's more for TMZ. I swear to God, we published a motherfucker. They turned around and published one too. Almost at the exact same time. Am I lying, Willie?
Yep.
That's exactly what I said.
I told him, I was like, see, I told you. Because he was like, I don't want to do this shit. I was like, just
like, man, I don't even feel like giving this some bitch the time of day, man. I'm so aggravated with him. Because I've talked to him, And, like I said, I've had friends that have messaged me today telling me I need to give him the benefit of the doubt. This is going to sound funny coming from the only white guy on the panel, but I swear to God, one of the reasons I need to give him the benefit of the doubt is this Black History Month. What the fuck does that got to do with him going up and grabbing a woman by the pussy?
Oh shit!
You know what I mean? I swear to God, I was told that,
man. Hold on,
I
hold
tell
on,
you
hold
what,
on.
who's enrolled? Hold on, let me see what group. It's the guy after he messages me, he fucking posted on the group on Facebook.
That's the go-to excuse for us in February, bro.
Are you serious?
Yes, bro, I'm serious.
Hey, on that note, man.
That's what I'm saying. This guy grew up with him from the time they were like 6, 7 years old. This is exactly what you're saying. You are a product of your surroundings.
Yeah, man.
Hey, man. Hey, on that note, we're gonna wrap it up, man. I know y'all may touch on it on y'all channels, but about to wrap it up, man. I appreciate y'all all being on the show. First hangout in a long time. Let the people know they can get y'all on social media. Don't all speak at once.
Man, who gonna go, man? This dangle boxing boom hire, man. You find me on Twitter at boxing boom hire and Instagram. You can check me out on Blog Talk Radio. That's Four Corners Boxing Talk Radio Show with Bone and Willie the Kid on Blog Talk Radio. Okay, I'll go back to talking like my old country self. And anyway, you can't miss me. I am the northern guy with the Hispanic accent. Willie the Kid's the southern white guy. You can't miss us. Whenever you tune into the Four Corners Boxing Talk Radio Show, you can't miss it. We've got mixed up several times. I don't know how in the fuck that's possible, but it's happened. And anyway, I'm on any of these shows within the movement I'm on all the time. You can always catch me at 3kingsboxing.com. Like I said earlier, when 2K come on, he was talking about the site. Ditto, man. We're rolling. We're steamrolling right now. Our traffic increased by 800% in the last month. All right, because you know why? Because the facts are coming out, and the stories we're reporting in December are starting to come to fruition now. We didn't know these names by accident, guys. We didn't just guess this shit. Okay?
Yep.
So that's why.
Yeah, I'm Willy the Kid. You can catch me at Eastwick Boxing Talk right here on YouTube. Catch me on Four Corners Boxing. Four Corners Boxing Talk on Block Talk Radio with my man C. That's what, Thursdays, right?
Thursday at 9 o'clock, 9:05.
Yeah. Yep. So you can catch me on 3kingsboxing.com. Anywhere and everywhere I'm needed within the umbrella. I'm here for everybody, and everybody's here for me, man. One big whole fucking happy family. We dysfunctional as fuck, but it is what it is, man. Shout out to Eastwick Boxing. Oh, you can catch me on Eastwick Boxing Twitter too. So.
Don't forget the Facebook. Don't forget the Facebook.
Yeah, and Facebook.
All right, Bo.
Yo, as the elder statesman, this is Bo, Truth and Facts. Hold on, wait a minute, my bad.
You could catch me at the senior citizen home.
This is Bo.
Yeah. I'm down on the corner of retired and almost dead.
Y'all fucking up my outro, man. Hold on. This is Bo of Truth and Facts about Bob.
Man, if you don't get the fuck out.
This is Bo of Truth and Facts about boxing. You can find me anywhere that the movement is. Wherever the movement is, that's where you'll find me, because that's what we do. That's how we get down. Willie the Kid said we are dysfunctional. No, we beyond that, as you can clearly see, but we work. It is what it is. Shout out to everybody out there that came in the chat, had questions. My man Big Cool. And like we said, man, Truth and Facts about boxing on Instagram. It's capital T for truth _ capital F for fact, box 1. It is what it is, baby. We are the movement. We are in your motherfucking face.
2K.
Of course, man, you got 2K from Prodigy Boxing Talk. You always catch me there on my personal channel. Running the movement thing, man. I'm proud of all these guys. Still got some work we need to do. But we getting ready to brand this. I'm getting ready to put a lot of my hard-earned money into this shit so we can brand it and get it up and running, man, and stop playing around and start being about what we're talking about. Also, of course, we got 3kingsboxing.com, which is very much out there. Like I said before, I'll say it again. I go there. That's not just because I'm co-owner of the site, but because it's really we really got the best news that I've seen, you know, and I'm real critical of my work. If we weren't having the best news, I would happily go over to boxing scene and all them other whack ass sites. But we got the news, you know what I'm saying? We're the ones putting it out first. So I just stay home and I'm able to get what I need from there. So if you haven't checked us out already, go ahead and check us out. Also, of course, you can catch me on any one of these guys' platforms. Now, the other two Kings didn't mention it, and rightfully so, because we haven't put it out yet. But we will be having a podcast that's Three Kings related. It should be every Wednesday. That's coming soon. We're just getting the site out right now, but once that's up and done and running, we will have that podcast up and running as well. But if you haven't gotten with the movement already, I suggest you do it, man, because it's getting bigger. It's getting bigger by the fucking minute.
Sir, and I'm your boy, Big Cool, Mr. CBT. Go over to Facebook, like that Colossal Boxing Talk Facebook page. Follow on Twitter, Colossal CBT. I'm everywhere under the movement umbrella. Like they said, check out 3kingsboxing.com for your latest and greatest in the boxing news, ranking, schedule, polls, everything boxing related. That's the place to be.
Hoes.
Did you say hoes?
Hey, I want to thank everybody that wrote in questions. Watch. Hopefully we can continue to get the viewers up as I do these more consistently. I appreciate the fellas for joining. Until next time, we all are out. Peace.